Salve Miki, welcome back to Viva Latina, and in this video we're gonna go learn about some phrases. We're gonna cut the phrases unit into two different videos because it's a really long unit and I want to keep the videos nice and concise so you can watch it without being distracted. So let's begin with phrases. Our first phrase is ab ovo usque ad mala. It translates as from the egg to the apple, or it also can be rendered as from soup to nuts. Next we have ad hoc, which means for this purpose. Then we had ad infinitum, which means without end. We had ad nauseam, meaning to the point of disgust. We had alma mater, which basically means nourishing mother. It refers to any school or college that one has attended. We have antebellum, which means before the war. It typically refers to this before the Civil War era. We have bona fide, which means in good faith. Again, I'm pronouncing these phrases in Latin because I want to make it easier for one to understand. Next, we're going to look at caveat emptor, and it basically means let the buyer beware. Next, we have de gustibus non est disputandum. It translates into there is no accounting for tastes, or, a little concise, everyone to his own taste. Next, we have corpus delicti, which basically means the body of the crime. We have cum grano salis, which basically means with a grain of salt, when you take something with a grain of salt. Then you have de facto or de facto, which means in fact or actually. Next we have de jure, which means by right or legally. We have de mortuis nil nisi bonum. This is a really famous one. It means speak only good of the dead. Then we have divide et impera, which means divide and rule. Ex libris, which means from the books of. We have errare humanum est, again, which is to err is human. We found this in another part of our videos, but we're bringing it back because it's also considered a phrase. We have et tu brute, which means even you, Brutus. Again, same thing. This is a phrase and it's also a quotation by Caesar. We have exit or exeunt. We have, it basically means he or she goes out, or they as a whole go out. This refers to more of a theatrical performance in which like a set or a certain amount of characters had to leave the stage. Then we have ex officio, which basically means by virtue of office. We have ex post facto or ex post facto, which means enacted after the fact or retroactive. We next have extempore, which basically means on the spur of the moment. We have festina lente, which means make haste slowly. This is again a quotation, but it's a famous phrase as well. We have habeas corpus or habeas corpus, which basically means a right to bring a detained person before a judge. It's more of a legal phrase, and it basically literally translates into that you have the body. In absentia means in absence. In loco parentis means in the place of a parent. In medias res translates into in the middle of things. Then we have in memoriam, which means in the memory of. We have in re, which means in the matter of or concerning. Again, it's really important to just, at the end of the day, memorizing these phrases, and also it's really important to understand the modern day application of in which you'll use the phrases. Memorizing can get you somewhere, but it is much more important to understand where these phrases come from, and that will take individual research outside of these videos in order for that to happen. Next, we have in toto, which means entirely. Again, if you're really good at Latin, you can quite literally translate these phrases. Like in toto means in the whole, or for everything, or like entirely. Next, we have ipso facto, which means by the very fact itself. And then after that, we are going to stop for now, and we're going to move on to the next unit in the next video, which is lapsus linguae. With that being said, thank you so much, and we're going to start with phrases part 2 in the next video.